Hey guys, story time. Hi, my name is Linda. In case you're new to my channel, I have a story for you. How I met my kingdom spouse and how I ended up losing that spouse. So that we do not make the same mistake that I made. And so let's get started. And so the reason why I'm telling this story is because right now in these days we're hearing a lot about kingdom marriages, kingdom spouse, the kingdom. And again, a lot of people don't know what a kingdom spouse is, and they don't know what really a kingdom marriage is, and they have no clue what the kingdom is. And so I'm going to make a video explaining what that is, what the kingdom is, because it is a reality. And so, yeah, the Most High does everything for a reason. And so you have to be discerning of the time, what time we're living in. There's going to be a transfer of power, okay? And some of y'all, some people don't know. They really don't know. So, yeah. So I would encourage you to, dive into the Word and ask the Most High for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Ask Him to reveal what the kingdom is and what it's all about, all these marriages. And when the Most High bring people together, He bring them for His purpose. Okay, it's not just for your own selfish gratification. It's not just for your own selfish desires, but the Most High have a purpose behind putting two people together. So with that being said, I will be making videos explaining, going into details what a kingdom husband is, what a kingdom wife is, and the purpose behind it. Okay, and what the kingdom is. So, okay, so let's move forward to my story. Okay, so I met my kingdom spouse back when I was in high school. I was actually 17 years old. I think, yes, 17. Or I must have just turned 17 when I met him. I was either, I think, in the 10th or the 11th grade. So, now, I had this friend. And so, yeah, around that time, I was pretty much just minding my business. I was not interested in no relationship. I was just focusing on my schoolwork, graduation. I'm like, I had my head on straight. I was not thinking about a man at that point in my life. I was a young girl just focusing because I had my heart broken. I think it was in ninth grade, I think. Ninth, 10th grade. So I wasn't really thinking about about a man, pretty much. A boy at that point. So so now okay, so I had this friend, and in high school I had a car, and this friend, she didn't have a car. And so she would ask me for a ride to drop her off, drop her home. And so, mind you, I was working at the time after school. I had a job that was like almost an hour away from home. So my job was in a different city. So After work, I would sometime drop my friend home, and then I would go to work. So one day, okay, one day, my friend told me that she wanted to hook me up with someone. I was like, no, you're not hooking me up with nobody. And mainly the reason why I said no was because my friend was not very attractive. She was not really pretty. So I was like, okay, who is she gonna hook me up with? You are not cute. I'm sorry, I don't think that way anymore, but that was my mindset back then. I'm like, she is not cute. I'm like, you not finna hook me up with nobody. I don't even want to see what he looked like. So I was like, no. So every time she was like, she brought it up, I'm like, every time she was set for me to meet this person, I'm like, I gotta work. I would have an excuse. So one day, I forgot. I forgot and I told her that I was off. I was like, I'm off from work today, and I ran my mouth and forgot and told her that I was off that particular day. So she was like, good, cause guess what? You coming? She tricked me. She was like, you coming over? You gonna stay spend the afternoon with me? Besides, I don't. I was like, no, I got other things to do. She was like, no. Um, I've already called my friend, and my friend is coming over, and he wants to meet you. I'm like, so I was like, fine, I'll just meet him just to be nice. I'm like, he is not, I'm like, I'll just meet him just to be nice. So, um, so, okay, so I was like, so what, so to come to find out, I'm gonna tell you how she knows this guy, right? Okay, turns out that this guy is her boyfriend's roommate. This girl, she had a friend, a Puerto Rican friend, which was the guy's girlfriend. So, for whatever reason, um, I'm busy. Yeah, I'm busy right now. So, yeah, excuse me, y'all. So, so I'm gonna pause for one moment. Sorry, I'm back. Anyway, so yeah, turns out that yeah, so she have a Puerto Rican friend who was this guy's girlfriend. Okay. And so they ended up breaking up, and this her boyfriend lives like two two towns away. So she didn't have a car, and she needed to hook this guy up with somebody who has a car. That's what it was. That was her motive. And so like yeah. So what happened? Let me All right. So anyway, yeah, that was her motive to hook me up with him so she can have a way to go and see her boyfriend. Anyway, to make a long story short, I didn't know. I'm finding out that's what it was after the facts. But so yeah, she told me the guys would come, and so I went up to her apartment, waited, and asked her a few questions about the guy. And so when the guys called us and they were like, we're on our way. So I went in the window. I'm like, I'm looking. I see three guys walking. Okay, I see a really skinny. I see a skinny looking one. I'm like, he's real skinny. Not my type. I mean, when I say skinny, he's like, I don't mind skinny guys, but I mean, okay, anyway, at that particular time, he was real skinny and kind of short. And then I see a big guy. It was three of them. And he was really big. And then I saw a middle one, the one that was in the middle. He was tall, dark, and handsome. Which one of these guys are mine? She said, oh well, the cute one is hers. I'm like, really? She told me the cute one was hers, so I automatically believe that the one in the middle was hers, cause hey, she said obviously she's gonna think her guy is cute. Anyway, so the guys are walking up the stairs, and then they got in the elevator. So I'm upstairs watching them. They don't see me, but I see them get in. They walk up the stairs, and then I think no, they got on the elevator. So I'm like, okay. So so then they came into the to her apartment, and when I guess I think she opened the door, or yeah, I opened the door and I was greeting them. So when I greet them, I automatically went to the fat guy. Well, I'm sorry, I called him fat. The big guy. That wasn't nice. I'm sorry. So anyway, I went to the big guy. I went to give him a hug because I'm like, I'm just gonna be nice about it, and then after that, I'm gonna go home. So I went and hugged the big guy. And he was like, he gave me a big hug. And then the tall, cute guy, he was like, why are you hugging him? Like, well, I thought he's the one. Because she told me the cute one was hers. So he came, he was like, he hugged me. He was like, he hugged me. And then as he's hugging me, I looked at him. I stopped. And then I looked at him in his face. I looked at him. I looked in his eyes. I was like, I froze. I froze. Let me tell you, I froze. I was terrified. I saw something in his eyes. I was terrified. I was like, it scared me to the point where I like literally, I ran away. I was like, I gotta go. I told them I gotta go. And they were like, what's wrong? He was like, he was shocked. He was like, why you gotta go? I'm like, I gotta go. I walked out of there. I walked, and he ran after me. I got in the elevator. I was like, I gotta go. Let me tell y'all, when I looked in his eyes, I looked at him, I looked in his face, I was like, I know this guy. I was like so shocked because I looked at him, was like, I felt like I have always known this guy. I know this guy. I've known him. I know him. But the funny thing is, I have never met him. How do you know someone? It was like so scary to me that it made me run away. I was like, it scared me. And when I ran away, I ran in the elevator. I spoke to myself. I said, God, that's him. That's him. I'm like, that's him. And I had to stop. I'm like, I spoke to God. I spoke it out loud. I was like, that's him. That's him. And then he came. I noticed he was like right behind me in the elevator, and I said that loud to myself. I don't think he heard me, but I spoke it loud. I'm like, that's him. And I was like, I was so shocked. He didn't know why I ran away, but when I looked in his eyes, it was like I have always known this guy. It's like I know this man, and I had my spirit man knew him. I have always known him. And so he ran after me. I was like, I gotta go. And he was like, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? I was like, nothing. And so he was like, okay, so before you go, take me, can you run me to the store? I was like, I said, okay, I'll take you to the store. But at that time, I was a young, shy girl. I was really shy and naive. And I was like, and he was also shy. Now, he was not a high school guy. He was a little bit older than me. He was 23 at the time, and he was in college. And yeah, so he was well, I would say a lot older, not a lot, but more mature than I was, but he was still a bit shy. So anyway, so yeah, so he was a really nice guy. Like I said, very handsome, educated, college, university, clean cut, nice guy, and very well spoken, very gentle. And so I was like, sure, I'll take you to the store. And so I took him to Publix. Cause he was just trying to buy time, just try to make me feel. He was trying to make me feel comfortable, so I wouldn't leave. So I took him and we spoke, and then after that, I dropped him off back to my friend's house. And then on my way home, I was like, I could not stop thinking about this guy. I'm like, how in the world do you meet someone that you feel like you've always known that person, but that was like your first time meeting? I was like, how is that possible? Right? So I was like, that to me, I was in love. That was love at first sight for me. So, okay, to make a long story short, because it is a long story. And so the reason why, there was a lot of other things after that. Um, so yeah, yeah, at that time he did give me his number. He wrote it on my hand. So because I don't think I didn't, yeah, I think, yeah, he wrote it on my hands, and somehow the number, it just it, I guess sweat or whatever, just um disappeared the number. So yeah, so I asked my friend the next day in school for his number, and she would not give it to me. I was so mad at her. She was like, she wouldn't give me his number. And that's when I'm learning. She was trying to hook me up so she can get me to take her to see him, because he lived far, right? He lived like 2 cities away. Anyway, yeah. So she wouldn't give me the number. So she waited when she was ready, when she wanted to go and see him. So she was like, Linda, so you want to go see so and so? I was like, yeah. So then I had to take her, and to go and see her boyfriend, right? So there was roommate. Anyway, so let's jump to why I felt that he was um, my kingdom spouse. I've had like many supernatural experience regarding this guy. Many supernatural experience. We have broke up several times, and and over the years. And so one time in particular, one time one time that I felt was supernatural. We had like many. I'm not sure if he was even aware that he was my kingdom husband. And I'm not sure if he was aware, but I knew who he was. And so anyway, one time I was coming from work and I work far. I worked overnight at that time, was it? Yeah, at that time I did a double shift. You know, I gotten off from school and then went to work, and then I stayed and did it overnight. And that night it was, I believe it was a weekend, because normally I wouldn't be able to do a double shift during school days. So I'm coming from work and it's early in the morning. I hadn't slept. It was around like seven. No, it was like maybe around 8 something, 9 something. And I'm coming down this long country road, because I'm a country girl, by the way. City/country girl. All right. So anyway, yeah, I'm coming down this long road and I see this guy. There's no car on the road. There's nobody on this road. And so I see this man walking from a distance, from far away, walking with a gas, like a gas thing, checking. Wait, I think he was checking his car, and he was checking his car. And so from afar, I see this man, and I'm approaching. I'm driving, and I'm like, wait a minute. Guess who it was? There was no other car on the road. It was just him, right? His car had broke down. Okay. So when his car, that was after like we had kind of like stopped talking for a while. So anyway, to make a long story short, I stopped. I was like, are you okay? Do you need any help? He was like, no, I got it. I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, he ran out of gas, and he had, I guess he had already gotten the gas or whatever, and he was putting the gas in the car. So I was like, okay. So he said he's going to be okay. He got it all together. So I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah. So I was like, okay then. Well, bye. So I drove off. Now, to me, at that time, that didn't seem like anything. It just seemed random, but out of, like, there was no car on the road. It was just him. It was just him. Like, I was like running into him, like, just, we would be running into each other. Like, we would just be crossing paths, you know. Anyway, so another time, this time we had broken up. We broke up because it was a situation between, yeah, we had broke up. I'm not going to tell y'all the reason. That's a whole nother video. I would say we never really went together. He was never my boyfriend. I have to specify on that. We were never like officially dating. We were never officially dating. And then I'll come back and tell you why I ended up things didn't work out. Anyway, one time I'm at this store. Now, mind you, I hadn't seen him for like maybe a year or so. So I'm at this store and I'm buying this product, and I'm reading the label on the product. And my back is completely, I'm so into what I'm reading. And then I had this overwhelming feeling. I had an overwhelming feeling that somebody is looking at me, and this something said, you need to turn around. Turn around. I'm like, I just had that, like, it was so weird. So, like, supernatural, because mind you, my back is turned in the corner and I'm reading. There is no way. I didn't see no vision. I didn't see like nobody. I just felt this. This was a feeling that somebody was there looking at me. And then so I felt in my spirit that I needed to turn around. So I turned around, and guess who was standing in the middle of the doorway just staring at me? Just staring. I'm at this store now. I'm in this store, and this person stood staring at me. I did not see. It was like, it was a feeling I had. And when I turned around, it was him. It was him. I hadn't seen him in so long, so we exchanged numbers and we started dating again. Well, not dating. I would say seeing each other again. So, okay, so yeah. It was a lot of other like little minor stuff and just a lot of things that to me it was supernatural. It was just beyond the norm. How do you know that somebody is looking at you where you don't see the person. You just I felt his presence. I don't know how to explain. It was just weird to me. But anyway, to make a long story short, because wow, it's already been 20 minutes. Anyway, so to make a long story short, I'm going to tell y'all what eventually happened and why I lost why things didn't work out. Number one, when God at the time we were both young and naive. And when when the Most High put your kingdom husband or your kingdom spouse in your life, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be more than just physical. It's a spiritual union. And so we were young, and yes, I was like, on fire for the Most High at that age, but I didn't have much experience as far as relationship. And yes, I knew what the Most High expected of me, but I think because of peer pressure and the desire to please to I would say not just to please him, but to please myself. We entered into this relationship through fornication. And that was not glorifying the Most High at all. And so I guess the Most High kept giving us, I would say, we had time, we had chances, we had opportunity to bring about this relationship in the right way, but I didn't. We both were so caught up in lust and in fornication. This relationship in no way, it did not glorify the Most High. And it was, mainly based on fornication. And so, I really, 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 really love them because I felt that, this was the guy, and I believed it, and he was very gentle, he was a very nice guy. He was also um bit naive as well. I would say not very mature in some sense. Although he was older than me, I think he was more older and a little bit more mature, but I think I was more, I don't know how to put it into words. Yes, he was older and a little bit more experienced than I was, but then I would have been willing to do things the right way, but because I didn't want to run the risk of like losing him, so I was more settling pretty much. And so that's why it's more important. It's very important when the Most High put your kingdom husband, that relation in your life, that relationship should be based on a spiritual journey. It should be based on the works that the Most High have in store for you and your spouse. It's not for lust. It's not for just sexual gratification. It should be done in the right way, right? So it was not. And then um, to make the matter worse, I became obsessed with this person. And because I became obsessed, I was obsessed, and not in a way that yeah, like personally I was consumed pretty much. When I say obsessed, consumed, and I was idolizing him, and I didn't know. I was like, at first I didn't know until the Most High brought it to my attention. So one day, and this, mind you, this is years later, like years later. Um, One day I was living by myself, and so I was having a conversation with the Most High, and he revealed to me. He was like, I said, I forgot exactly what the conversation was, but I know that I'll never forget that he did reveal to me. And I asked him a question. He was like, I felt that he answered me and said, well, because you love this person more than me. And when I sensed in my spirit that this is what he was communicating to me, I was like, I could not deny it. I was stuttering. I was like, but there was no excuse, because I knew in my spirit that it was true, that I loved this guy more than I placed him above the Most High. This guy, if he told me to do this and that, I would do it. That's how much that I really, like, I was so infatuated, so in lust. So I thought it was love, but it was lust, because you don't put nothing above the Most High. Nothing. And to me, this guy was like, I put him above the Most High. I was literally idolizing this guy. He was an idol in my life. He was an idol. And I knew I had to let him go. So that night, I told the Most High, I said, I can't do this on my own. I knew that it was destroying me at this point. At this point, it was destroying me. It really was. And I think I was about probably, I don't know how old I was, but I know I was older than 24. I was probably 24 at this point. And I was like, Father, I know I cannot do this. I cannot stop loving him. It's like I asked him, I said, please, can you remove him from my heart? I was like, because I'm like, I can't wait. I said, will there ever be a day when I will not love this person? I was like, please, Father, I know I'm putting him above you and I'm idolizing him. But I was like, Father, I don't think I can stop loving him. You would have to remove him from my heart because I couldn't do it. There's things sometime in our life that we may not be able to do it with our own strength. We may feel that we're not able to, but we can ask the Most High. We can ask the Most High to assist us. And so I had to ask him, I'm like, Father, please. And it was years later that I can honestly say that, man, years later, I was like, this guy, I no longer, he was not the priority in my life anymore. So the Most High lift that. That was the stronghold. It became a stronghold because I turned my kingdom husband into an idol. And I know that he was a special person. I know we were a force together. Had that force, because let me tell you, when the Most High blessed something, oh my God, it would be like, for example, the anointing that was on David. The anointing that was on David, let me tell you, when the Most High bless something, it is beyond the norm. It is beyond the natural. And so if the Most High bless something and you use it to glorify the Most High, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, beyond a beyond beyond the norm. So the same thing is like, I know that we were a force, that the enemy, me and him together, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, he was incredible. But now, if you take what the Most High blessed and you use it for the enemy, to glorify the enemy, that very thing can destroy you. Let me see, how can I put it? It's just like, let's say God give you the gift of singing, or the gift a talent. Let's say the Most High bless you, anoint you with a talent. This talent, you have it. You have the talent. But what are you going to use it for? Are you going to use it to glorify the Most High? Or are you going to use it to glorify the enemy? Because the enemy is very well aware of your talent. But he's going to try to seduce you to use your talent for his glory and not the glory of the Most High. So that's what it was with me and my kingdom spouse. I know we were a force, a powerful force together, but we were not putting that force to glorify the Most High. That force was glorifying the enemy. And so it became an idol in my life. And at this point, it was no good to the Most High. It was no good. It was destroying me. And so I knew that I had to put it away. But in my heart, in my own strength, I was not able to do that. The Most High had to assist me. He had to assist me. So now, years later, we ended up going our separate ways. And so the Most High had to rewrite my story. The Most High always have a backup plan. Trust me. Don't say, oh, well, he wasn't your kingdom spouse because this, that. No, let me tell you something. The Most High ordained Solomon. Was it Solomon? or Saul. Yeah, King Saul. He appointed King Saul. I'm sorry. I need to get my names together. So he appointed King Saul to be king. But when King Saul got out of line, the Most High had a backup plan. He had David. Okay? Okay, so you ain't gonna do right? That's all right. You're not gonna use your talent to serve me? That's all right. Oh, you gonna go this way. Oh, I got backup plan. So if the Most High bless you with something, you're not gonna use your talent to serve the Most High. You best believe that the Most High got a backup plan. He got a David ready to take your position, ready to take your spot, right? So the Most High had to rewrite my story. And so, yeah, that's how I lost my King Solomon. And so, wait a minute. I'm getting confused between Saul and Solomon. Sorry, guys. My mind is a little fuzzy right now. So sorry. So anyway, so now I'm waiting on my David. On my David. So yeah. I lost my king, my first king. And I had to give him up because I idolized him. And let me tell you something. If you get with the wrong person too, it affect it, that's why you have to be very cautious. You have to be with the right person. You have to be with the right person. Now I have another story that's in between my then kingdom spouse, you know, and after my kingdom spouse, I got with the wrong person. Okay, and being with the wrong person, it not just affects you. It just changes everything. It affects the whole situation. That's why it affects other people too. In the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. That's why you have to be with the right person. You cannot entertain the counterfeits. You cannot allow the counterfeits to come into your life. You cannot do it. You got to fight against it. You got to pray. You got to resist the counterfeits. And sometimes, like, the counterfeits, oh my goodness, the counterfeits, because the enemy think he's slick. But you got to be one step ahead of the enemy. And how you do that is through the Most High's assistance. And so through prayer, and ask the Most High to give you the spirit of discernment. You know, so yeah, you cannot be with the counterfeit. You can't entertain the wrong person because it changes everything. So I'm waiting on my David. And so if to me it's all up to the Most High. I don't know if yeah. I mean, if he wants to give me a David, I'm open up to it. I'm willing. And so it's whatever the will of the Most High is towards my life. It's not about me anymore. I learned my lesson. I learned that not to idolize the man. The Most High come first, right? The Most High come first. It's all about his kingdom, his work, and the purpose of having that kingdom spouse. It's not about my lust. It's not all about me. And it's not all about him. It's all about the Most High. It's all about the work of the Most High. That's what comes first. You know? So, yeah. I hope this story benefits someone. You know, first, the moral or the point of the story is Yes, you can lose your kingdom spouse if they ain't gonna do, if they ain't trying to do right, and if you ain't trying to do right, you better get it right, because you in the last days right now. At that time, I met my kingdom spouse when I was like young, really in high school. But because we didn't approach it in the right way, in the proper way, to honor the Most High with our relationship, we ended up losing each other. And so the Most High had to do a replacement. And so for a long time, I was with a counterfeit. And I know he was a counterfeit because I asked the Most High permission and he told me no. And I said he told me no, he said no. And I did it anyway. And I knew he was a counterfeit. And so even after the counterfeit, not to say that he was a bad guy, but it just dramatically affected my life, right? And in the lives of other, it just mess up the flow of the plan that the Most High have for us, because the Most High said he knows the plans he have for you and I. He knows the plan. It is to benefit us. And when we go and do our own thing, we prolong it. We stay in the wilderness longer than necessary. We didn't have to be in the wilderness, but it was through our disobedience to the Most High, and that's what kept us in the wilderness. The Most High had a plan for me. He had a purpose, but through my disobedience, I had to remain in the wilderness for a very long time. So, so the moral of the story is, yes, be careful how you handle your kingdom spouse. And then be careful with the counterfeits, because the counterfeit can mess up the flow of the plan of the Most High and prolong and keep you in the wilderness and prolong the process. And when your kingdom spouse come along, you better not idolize your kingdom spouse. You better put the Most High first and make sure it's about the kingdom work and about the Most High. Okay? Okay? So, now, when David comes along, I know better now. So, I am normally when I tell a story, I am not really I'm not gonna say, but I hope you guys understood this story, and I hope it benefits someone. And even if it's just a few, it was well worth it. Okay? So, yeah. Treat your kingdom spouse with respect, but never put him above the Most High. Never. The Most High comes first. Okay, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my story. Don't forget to subscribe, and share. And yeah, and see y'all next time. I love y'all. Bye-bye.